Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 54 of the Sam Hosting Media Podcast. Very special guest from the Colgate women's hockey team. Please welcome Rosy Demers.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, first of all, Rosy, obviously, we're still in the middle of a pandemic. So, what's it like living with COVID in the world right now?
It's for sure challenging, but I'm happy things have been starting to open up back home. I've been able to work out 5 times a week since the end of May, so pretty thankful for that.
Now, we'll get right into Colgate here. Take us through your process of committing there and kind of what happened with that.
I went to Stansted College. I left home when I was 14, and I was fortunate enough to be coached by an Olympian, Sarah Vancourt. So everyone knew her, and then people were just starting to come watch her games. And I was recruited by Colgate in grade 10, yeah, and I committed in March. So it was a quick process for me, but I'm really happy with my decision.
Now, before we really get into Colgate here, you've got a Hockey Canada jersey behind you. So, talk about the honor of having your name on the back of one of those.
It's probably the nicest feeling in the world. I mean, you grow up watching those women playing on TV, and I'm fortunate to practice with some of them sometimes, and they're just my idols. And just being able to represent your country it's just unreal.
Now, back into Colgate, take us through the first time walking into that locker room and seeing your name on the back of a Colgate jersey. What was the feeling going through your head?
It's another really amazing feeling. I mean, you grow up and dream about playing in NCAA, and I'm from Canada, so it's more like um, I didn't know anything about the NCAA until I went to Stansted. So it's an amazing feeling just to walk in the locker room, and just the locker room is unreal there. And I wasn't used to dressing up in a big locker room, and seeing my name, the back of the jersey, is just an amazing feeling. It's another accomplishment that you're really proud of.
Now, take us through walking out onto the ice for your first NCAA game. What were the nerves like?
Uh, I was really nervous, not gonna lie. We played Penn State, but it was just probably one of my favorite moment. My parents were there with my brothers, and I got to start the game. I was on the starting five, so it was really amazing just to be on the starting five and represent Colgate.
Now, take us through your first NCAA goal. Did you black out, or what do you remember from it?
Yeah, I remember it was against Dartmouth. Um, we weren't sure if it was a goal because one of my teammate kind of hit someone on the blue line. So I went on the breakaway. I was like, "Where's the D?" But my teammate just tripped her on the way, and I put it 5 hole, and then everyone was celebrating, but then um, they weren't sure if it was a penalty, so they went to replay. But fortunately enough, it was a good goal.
That's awesome. Now, what's kind of going through your head during that replay? Obviously, you're just hoping that it's a goal, right?
Yeah, well, I was excited to get my first goal. But I was like, if it's not a goal, I'll get the next one. But it was relief after they announced it was a good goal.
Now, take us through some of the trips you've been able to go on with Colgate. What are some of your favorites from around the NCAA?
My sophomore year, we went to Minnesota. We didn't win, obvious. It was a tough weekend for us, but it was just cool to travel far from Colgate and play against another team. Also, we went to this year when the NCAA tournament. It was pretty cool too, just to play against other opponents that we didn't get the chance to play this year.
Now, obviously, this year with COVID, what were some of the struggles you guys kind of faced?
We had coming into Colgate, we had to quarantine 2 weeks. So that was pretty challenging for our team. We weren't able to see each other. I was with the juniors, my class, and we didn't get to practice for the first 3 weeks, and then after quarantine, we were practicing in small groups, so that was challenging, but we're pretty thankful that we got the chance to do that. I was looking back home and seeing my friends in Canada that didn't get the chance to play this year, so I was pretty grateful for having an opportunity to play.
Absolutely. Obviously, getting to play some games this year. What was that like? And were you guys having to wear masks during games?
Yeah, well, we were lucky enough to not have to wear a mask during games, but we had to wear one during practices. I mean, it wasn't the greatest thing, but we knew we had to keep our campus safe. And at the end of the day, it was just us wanted to play games, and we were ready to do anything for that. So, but yeah, it was pretty challenging. I mean, the school was really strict about COVID, um, like really strict. We weren't able to see each other outside the rink, so that was challenging for us for sure.
Now, how did your team kind of adapt to having to do that, not being able to see each other outside the rink to be able to have team activities? So, what are some of the things you guys were able to still do?
For the first semester, we were on Zoom for team meetings. We were only practicing, and then after going back to our dorms, and our coaches were setting up Zoom meetings. So that was a reality there. Second semester was better. Our campus was doing good in terms of COVID cases. So we were able to gather in groups of 25. So we were able to see each other. So that was better for us for second semester for sure.
Now, what are some of your favorite things to do around Colgate in a non-COVID year during the semester and stuff?
We're a pretty small campus, but one of my favorite things is to go see other sports and support my friends. It's always real cool to do, and we didn't get to do that this year, but I'm excited for next year. They just announced that we're allowed to have fans, so should be exciting for us.
Now, heading into next year, what matchup for hockey are you most excited for?
I think we're supposed to play Minnesota. They're supposed to come to Colgate this year. So that should be really exciting for us. But I mean, this year we only got to play against Clarkson, St. Lawrence, and Quinnipiac. So I'm excited to play other teams.
Now, the two Colgate jerseys you have behind us, tell us what those are and the significance they have.
This one right there is from my freshman year. So every year we do an autism awareness game. During the Christmas break, we skate with those kids, just giving back to the community. It's one of my favorite thing to do at Colgate, just giving back to the community and seeing those kids really happy to skate with us. And this one's from my sophomore year. So at the end of the game, people just buy your jerseys, and if they don't buy it, well, I'll just buy mine. And my parents are happy to have one of my jerseys here.
Now, what's your favorite Colgate jersey that you've been able to put on during your time there?
Probably this one right here. I mean, it's pretty special. Just the game we do for the autism awareness. There's a lot of people in the stands, and we drop a puck at the start of the game with one of the kids, and it's just amazing to. I mean, I love giving back to the community, and I mean, loving to see the smiles on their face.
Absolutely. Now, what if you were to rank the top three NCAA jerseys? What are they?
I'll have to go with Colgate first, obviously. Um, I like BC's jersey. I like the color. Third one, I have to go with. That's a good question. Wisconsin. I mean, red and white, Canada. So yeah.
Now I'll have some team fun here. Best and worst TikToker on the Colgate women's hockey team.
I mean, I can't say that we have a good TikToker on our team. I make TikTok with one of my friends. She's from Czech Republic. We're not really good, so I would say maybe us the worst ones. And um, Kaylee Osborne is pretty good. I mean, she loves to dance, so she's good.
Loudest in the room and on the ice.
Um, Off the ice, probably Tanner Gates. She's really loud. On the ice, maybe I can't say one person. I feel like we're all really loud on the ice. That's one of her like big thing to communicate on the ice. So we're all like pretty loud on the ice.
Most likely to forget something on an overnight trip.
Um, Alexa Dobchuk, one of our goalies. Yeah.
Now, obviously, with fans being allowed at sports next year, what sport are you excited to go see live again? Besides, obviously, being able to play in front of fans as a hockey player, but what sport are you excited to go see at Colgate live?
Football, obviously. It's always in the summer, well, in September, so it's warm outside and there's a lot of fans, so it's fun to support them.
Now, obviously, at every university or college, there's usually a huge rivalry between the men's and women's hockey teams. Is that kind of the case at Colgate, and who's the better team?
Uh, we actually had a debate. I don't know. The guys are pretty good. I mean, this year we had a better season than them, but they're pretty good. Yeah.
Now, as a women's hockey player, what do you think the NWHL is really doing to help women in sport?
I mean, I think it's pretty encouraging to see people giving back and like supporting the women's side. I mean, we work as hard as the men, and I think um, we deserve all the support and from the people, and just to see the girls that are playing right now for the future, and it's just amazing to see that they're sacrificing a part of their life to give back to the younger girls. So pretty grateful for that.
Funniest moment to happen on the ice during the year this year?
Um, Say I don't know if it was this year or last year, but we were doing a drill, and then we were like switching between forward and D, and I went on D just to practice. And me and my teammate just ran into each other because we went on the same side. So it was pretty funny. And then the girl just skated by us and went and scored on breakaway. That was pretty embarrassing, but pretty funny to watch after.
Now, what's your kind of pregame routine? Obviously, it might have been a little different with the COVID season this year, but take us through what a non-COVID year would look like on a game day and a COVID year.
If we're at home or even on the road, we do a morning skate on the Friday around 9 o'clock. So we eat breakfast before, and then we come back to the hotel and have a pregame meeting just to talk about the opponent, do video, and then I take a nap about 15 to 20 minutes, short nap, and then probably have a coffee after and chat with my teammate or my roommate on that road trip, and then we eat pregame lunch, and then have another pregame meeting, just a short one, 5 minutes, and then we hop on the bus and listen to music. I don't have any special things that I do before, just listen to music and laugh with my teammates.
Now, you're from Quebec, so is there a lot of hype where you're from about the Montreal Canadiens playoff run right now?
Yeah, it's it's insane right now. I mean, today is especially it's Quebec's birthday, so people are like really excited for the game. And there's a lot of people in Montreal right now because they're only allowing 3,500 fans inside, but there's like a lot of people outside. People are crazy here when the Habs are winning, so hopefully they're not gonna destroy anything tonight, because I think the Avs are gonna win tonight, but it's gonna be a great game, I think.
Now, we'll put you on the spot a little bit here, but the Olympics next year, we'll start with the women's side first, but who are some of the women you think should be on Team Canada?
That's That's not on Team Canada.
that will be for the Olympics?
Obviously, Poulain is the best player in the world. I mean, there's some pretty young girls that have been invited, and I think that's really good for Team Canada, and they have a pretty good chance of making it.
Now, for the men's side, if you know many NHL players, who do you think Canada should be taking next year?
Um, I mean, Carey Price is unreal, having unreal playoffs right now, so I'd put him in that for sure. Sidney Crosby, obviously, McKinnon. There's a lot of great players for Canada, so yeah.
Now, is there one player that you've played against in the NCAA that you're just like, holy cow, I'm actually playing against this person right now?
Um, Not really. It's just, I mean, yeah, there's some really good players in the league. Um, but I feel like I've known them for a while, so it's not like a new player that I've been playing against. So, I mean, Sarah Fillier is really good. So every time I play against them, I'm like, oh wow, okay, like she's really good. But I've known her for a while now, so getting used to it, play against her.
Now, going into next year, what's the best advice you can give to a freshman that's coming on the Colgate women's hockey team?
Um, that's a good question. I'd say to enjoy every little moments. I feel like I'm a senior now and have come to realize that I have one year left, and um, it's the best 4 years of your whole life, and just to learn from the older girls. Yeah, my freshman year I was pretty nervous, and I was trying to like listen to everything and like, but also to not be afraid to make any mistakes and like lead the way too as a freshman.
Now, we'll go back to your childhood a little bit here. At what point, or at what age did you get into hockey, and when did you kind of know it was the sport for you?
I started playing when I started playing in a real league when I was 6, but I started skating when I was like 3 or 4. I have 2 older brothers that were playing hockey, and they kinda, like, taught me how to skate with my dad, and, I was playing soccer when I was young. I liked it, but not as much. I did gymnastic, hated it. And then I did taekwondo too at school, which was really fun. But then I had to decide between all those sports. So I decided hockey because I don't know, hockey is just a sport to play and I absolutely love it.
Now, as you mentioned there, you have two older brothers. What kind of influence did they have on you growing up as all hockey players?
I mean, they've played a big role in my career. I mean, they still do. They taught me how to skate and weren't really easy on me when I was a kid. So I appreciate that when I look at it now. But I always play in the backyard rink with them and weren't letting me any like they weren't easy on me. So I got to compete hard when I was a kid and I was a little feisty and I'm still feisty. So I appreciate that for them. And they were hitting me and I didn't like it, but now I look at it, I'm like, that's what I wanted to have from them. So yeah.
Now, who is the sibling that would always get on your parents' nerves?
My middle one. My middle one was always the one hitting me with like just like body check me, and then the oldest one was just like on my side and defending me. So yeah.
Now, here before we wrap up, obviously Father's Day was a couple days ago, but we'll let you give a shout out to your dad, who I'm sure really helped influence you as well as your mother. But obviously, with Father's Day a couple days ago, give a shout out to your dad.
Yeah, I mean, I talked about my brothers, but my dad had played a big part in my life. He was my coach my whole life before I went to Stansted, just until I went to Stansted. And he played hockey when he was young too, and he's just sacrificed his life for us, me and my brothers, and I appreciate that. And I tell him often now that I'm away from home, realize how much he played a big part in my life.
Now, being from Canada, what's the biggest change you've seen while living down in the US now?
Um, I mean, I had to learn English when I was at Stansted, so I mean that's not a big change. But I don't know. I feel like at Colgate, I'm pretty like it's such a small campus, and we're not really aware of like the big. I'm not like in the big city, so it's hard to like. But I mean, people are really, I don't know, really proud of their country with flags. I think always make me laugh a little bit. Flags on their cars, or yeah.
Now, obviously, you grew up speaking French. Was it kind of hard to learn the English language after having to speak French for a majority of your life up until now?
Yeah, it was it was pretty challenging. I left home when I was 14, didn't speak English at all, and went to Stansted, which is completely like it's all English. And I was put in physics, science, and all those hard classes, and I didn't understand anything for like the first 2 weeks. I had a headache every day because I was trying to understand what the teacher was saying. But once you're in an environment where they speak another language, you get to like learn it quickly. And yeah, I'm pretty grateful that I left home to experience this school, this boarding school, and I was speak English. So that's cool.
Now, final question here. Going into next year, what are you most excited about finally being able to be back with your teammates after a little bit of a break right now?
I'm excited just to compete again. I mean, we played games last year, but we didn't get to play as many games. I'm excited to welcome a new class, a freshman class, and I think we have a lot of experience on our team that I think we're ready to take the next step and like make it to the NCAA tournament and have a successful run there.
And actually, before we wrap up, when you get mad on the ice, do you swear at people in French so they like might not know what you're saying to them?
I don't swear at them, but in my head, I swear at myself, kind of in French. Yeah, people always ask me that question. They're like, "Do you speak French?" And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, French." It just comes out naturally. So,
Awesome. Well, on behalf of the listeners, I'd like to thank Rosie for coming on here today, and we wish you the absolute best of luck. And hopefully, some of the freshmen next year can continue teaching you English.